So we have an update on Uncle Nears. So Fawn
Yes.
Weaver is in a fight of her life with Farm Credit Mid America, one of her major financiers of her brand, whiskey brand, Uncle
Yes.
Nears. So Farm Credit Mid America has threatened to foreclose
Right.
and take over the Uncle Nears brand if Fawn Weaver gets back control after pushing to end the receivership. So when you guys hear this, they're already going to make a decision. So they have a hearing that's coming up. It's in Tennessee. It's public.
You said it's tomorrow, right?
Yes, because we're filming this Sunday.
Sunday.
So Monday is when they are going to make the decision on it. Um, so I really wish I could just drive up there. Like, I want to drive up there to just be in, like, to see the case
Yeah.
because it's so fascinating. So there's a $108 million lawsuit, and obviously the money is accruing because they still owe interest on it. But Fawn Weaver is saying, "Hey, we got duped out of our
Yeah.
stuff by our CFO. We can handle the company." But right now they're in receivership, and the receivership is a third party that manages the assets and and operates the business. So Fawn Weaver essentially doesn't operate Uncle Nears at the moment. It's kind of
Right.
like what Pinky Cole went through with
Yes.
Slutty Vegan. Like they kicked her out, and she just wasn't operating, and then she had to go through a bidding process. This is a little different because yes, Slutty Vegan had a big brand, but like she didn't have $100 million lawsuit.
Gotcha.
So she was able to get the stuff back, and now she's trying to operate on her own. This is
And
big
she's been
business.
very adamant that the company's not insolvent. They just
Yeah,
have cash flows problems.
yeah,
I think when I see that the bank is threatening to foreclose
yeah.
on the company and on the assets, if it's really giving like trust issues.
Yes, they
And
don't trust her to run
at
the ship.
all. And so I'm like, I wonder what happened. This is the question that it brings up for me. Before the bank had to even, take this to a judge, file a lawsuit,
Yes.
what happened all up before that?
Well, I'll kind of give you what happened in the public. She went on a big PR run pushing a book. So if you owe me $100 million
Right.
and you're on a podcast and my lawyers are reviewing everything you fucking say, and you're on there talking about this is big business and this and all of that, and we knew we could have had a $10 million distillery, but nobody would have talked about it, so we built
Yeah,
a
$50 million.
$50 million distillery. And like you owe me $100 million, like that's kind of like irritating, right? Like you know that meme where like the person that owes you money, you look on their story and they having a time of their life in Miami, and you struggling trying to pay your fucking bills. It's like you'll feel some type of way too. And this is a
Yeah.
big bank, hundreds of millions of dollars. So like that would irritate you and piss you off if the CEO of a brand is going on this big PR run pushing a separate product
Hmm.
that ain't got nothing to do with your book or
Yeah.
to get your money back. And then they had separate companies receiving that capital
I was gonna
and receiving that
say,
money. So
yeah, because you broke it up, and it's like you're supposed to be selling liquor.
and so here's another part of the affidavit that I got my hands on, read, and these are all public information. It's part of the court filing or whatever. But a part of the affidavit is um, the receiver is trying to pierce the corporate veil of all those other companies. So what that means is, let me break that down. So if you have a brand, or no, I'm just use their real life example.
Okay.
Fawn Weaver owns her husband owns a major part of Uncle Nears along with investors and
Right.
creditors and all of this, right? But they have adjacent businesses that benefit off of the Uncle Nearest brand that just goes directly to them.
Got it.
So Fawn Weaver is going into the courtroom to say, I never made any money off of Uncle Nearest. I don't make that much money off of Uncle Nearest. We're looking to grow, right? That's what she's saying. But on paper, she got 7, 8 other businesses. Like for example, in this $50 million distillery, there's a restaurant in there that's not under Uncle Near. You know what I'm saying? Then all these books, and then they
Because
got these
the
separate
idea
brands,
is
and then they
that
got real estate that's in a separate LLC.
I was gonna say, so what it really should have been was like Uncle Nearest and then all these subsidiaries. And so if they were subsidiaries of Uncle Nearest, then it would all go back to
Uncle Nearest, but it's not. That's the problem, and
mm,
that is what kind of sparked the lawsuit to begin with, because the Farm Bureau, I mean not Farm Bureau, Farm
Farm
Credit
credit.
Mid America, like, hey, y'all owe us this money. Y'all got this nice ass property in Martha's Vineyard. How about
Yeah.
we get, that'll
Yeah.
settle something? They're like, nah, that ain't. They're like, that ain't Charles. Like that. No, that's a separate LLC. They're like, hold on.
There's no way you didn't get that with our
Like,
money.
there's no way you didn't use this. Like, no, that's us.
Yeah.
And they like, no, we good. So now the
Yeah.
receiver is trying to pitch to the judge and pitch to the creditors that, hey, we can float this. The Uncle Nearest brand can actually operate.
Yeah.
In order to shore up some cash, we can sell these properties. We can sell this other asset. We can do this. Oh, by the way, these other brands that they have a little cash flow, and they're like subsidiaries of the Uncle Nearest brands, but they're not really.
Yeah.
And they're benefiting off of this. So, like, they got in the big facility, they do tours of the whole facility. They got one of the biggest bars ever in America that Fawn Weaver brags about. I don't know if all that money is going back to the Uncle Nearest brand, and that is a big
And if it
issue.
went back to the brand,
The cash flow of Flip.
I was gonna say
You,
yes.
so Uncle Nearest as a company is cash constrained, but then
Right.
there's a lot of these other side profitable business that could be involved in getting the $108 million
Mm,
loan taken care of. So that's what they're fighting over. They're jockeying for control, and I'm very interested to see what's going to happen, because Fawn Weaver is saying the receivership is messing up their brand.
that's what they're saying. And so from how I see it is, Fawn Weaver is basically telling the judge and the creditor, in this case, farm credit,
Yeah,
the receivership is actually counterproductive to the goal of trying to pay you back.
correct.
And what the creditor is saying is that we've tried to work with you directly before.
Yep,
That relationship did not work out.
correct. That's why we're here.
That is why we're here. So it doesn't make sense to go back to the same model that got us here.
Yeah, and that's kind of, I can understand that,
I was gonna
because
say,
they're like, hey, yes, somebody did do fraud on y'all. Even if I accept that as true, it still was under your leadership.
yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah,
it's kind of like one of those situations where you let somebody watch your kids and the kid get hurt. You got to kind of take a little bit
the
responsibility
responsibility.
of hiring that person to watch your kids. You
Yeah.
didn't do a background check. You didn't know that that person was crazy. You didn't know that this person hit kids. You didn't know, you know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta take some responsibility as a parent. She's the CEO. The buck stopped with her. She's
It
the
does.
founder. She's not just a CEO. She's a founder.
Right, right.
Fawn Weaver, as a leader in your community, the buck stopped with you. So I can kind of understand where the creditor is coming from and saying, hey, the problem started with you.
Right.
So,
One thing is, this is like you said. I think you started this saying that this is the fight of her life, and it
yes.
really is. She is scratching and
Because
crawling.
they could easily kick her out the company.
I was gonna say, at this point,
They
if
can,
she don't find that money,
yeah,
all she has to do is find a money. I mean, I know it's $100 million and some,
yeah.
but
And it
find
was an
it.
investor group. That's in the affidavit as
That's what I
well.
was
The
gonna say.
receiver talked about that. Like, there have been people that's making offers. So it's been like 50 different offers for the company.
Mm,
However, nothing that was entertaining enough. Like, yeah, me and you could piece our $2 together and
yeah,
make a
an offer.
$50,000 offer, but it's like that ain't gonna work. Like, this is
No.
big business. Like,
Yeah,
the brand was valued at $1 billion. Um,
it was. It really
yeah.
was.
So
Dang, that makes me want
So
some.
it's only that one group that we talked about that made an official $108 million offer to cover the debt and become a shareholder. But I don't know how they're going to approach that.
We'll see. Well, maybe more news will come out tomorrow.
Yeah, so
So we'll see
we'll
that.
be reporting on that.